The Middle East, a region perpetually teetering on the brink of conflict, is once again witnessing a surge in tensions. This area, rich in history and culture, has long been a focal point of global attention due to its strategic importance and the complex interplay of various political, religious, and social factors. The age-old conflict between Israel and its neighbors has taken a dangerous turn, fueled by a complex web of historical grievances, political rivalries, and religious differences. These tensions have been simmering for decades, with each side holding deep-seated beliefs and grievances that have been passed down through generations. At the heart of this latest escalation lies the assassination of a high-ranking Hamas military leader within Iranian borders, a move attributed to Israel. This act has not only heightened the existing animosities, but has also brought to the forefront the covert operations and shadow wars that have been a hallmark of the region's conflicts. This audacious act, a stark reminder of the shadow war being waged between the two nations, has ignited a firestorm of condemnation and threats of retaliation, pushing the region closer to the precipice of a wider conflict. The streets have erupted in protests, and political leaders are making impassioned speeches, further inflaming the situation. The killing of the Hamas commander, a key figure in the Palestinian militant group's military operations, represents a significant escalation in the ongoing conflict. This event has not only disrupted the fragile balance, but has also emboldened other militant groups in the region who see this as a call to arms. It underscores the deep animosity between Israel and Iran, two regional powers locked in a bitter struggle for dominance. This rivalry is not just about territorial disputes, but also about ideological supremacy, with each nation seeking to assert its influence over the broader Middle East. The incident has also served to highlight the precarious security situation in the Middle East, where even a seemingly isolated event has the potential to ignite a regional conflagration. Security checkpoints are on high alert, and soldiers are on constant patrol, underscoring the tense atmosphere. The assassination has drawn sharp condemnation from across the Arab and Muslim world, with many seeing it as an act of aggression by Israel. Political leaders from various countries have issued statements denouncing the act, and the media is abuzz with debates and discussions on the implications of this event. Iran, Hamas's longtime patron, has vowed to avenge the killing, raising fears of a swift and potentially devastating response. The Iranian military is on high alert, and there are reports of increased military activity along the borders, signaling a possible escalation. The incident has also sparked concerns about a possible spillover of violence into neighboring countries, further destabilizing an already volatile region. Refugee camps are swelling with people fleeing the potential conflict zones, and humanitarian organizations are bracing for a possible crisis. As tensions continue to simmer, the international community is scrambling to prevent a full-blown conflict. The United Nations has convened emergency meetings, and diplomats from around the world are engaged in frantic negotiations to de-escalate the situation. Diplomatic efforts are underway to de-escalate the situation, but the path to peace remains fraught with obstacles. The history of broken agreements and mistrust between the parties involved makes any resolution challenging. The stakes are incredibly high, with the potential for a wider conflict carrying catastrophic consequences for the entire region and beyond. Civilians, already bearing the brunt of the ongoing conflicts, face an uncertain future, and the international community watches with bated breath, hoping for a peaceful resolution. To truly comprehend the current state of affairs in the Middle East, one must delve into the annals of history, tracing the roots of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict back to its very inception. The story is complex, filled with moments of hope, despair, triumph, and tragedy. Understanding these early years is crucial to grasping the ongoing tensions and the deep-seated emotions that continue to influence the region today. The establishment of the State of Israel in 1948, a momentous occasion for the Jewish people, marking the culmination of a long-held dream for a homeland, was met with fierce resistance from the Arab world. This declaration of independence was not just a political act, but a deeply emotional and symbolic moment for Jews worldwide, many of whom had survived the horrors of the Holocaust and sought a safe haven.
This pivotal event, etched into the collective memory of both Israelis and Palestinians, ignited a conflict that continues to cast a long shadow over the region. For Palestinians, the creation of Israel represented a catastrophic loss of their homeland, an event they refer to as the Nakba, or catastrophe. This duality of perspectives is a fundamental aspect of the conflict, with each side holding deeply personal and historical grievances. The creation of Israel, a result of the United Nations partition plan for Palestine, displaced hundreds of thousands of Palestinians, creating a refugee crisis that has endured for generations. These refugees and their descendants have lived in camps across the Middle East, often in dire conditions, with their right of return remaining a contentious issue in peace negotiations.
The ensuing war of 1948, which saw Israel emerge victorious against a coalition of Arab states, further solidified the Jewish state's existence but also deepened the animosity and mistrust between Israelis and Palestinians. This war, known as the War of Independence in Israel and the Nakba in the Arab world, set the stage for future conflicts and established the initial borders of the new state. The 1967 Six-Day War, another turning point in the conflict, saw Israel achieve a swift and decisive victory, capturing the Sinai Peninsula, the Gaza Strip, the West Bank, East Jerusalem, and the Golan Heights. This war dramatically altered the map of the Middle East and had profound implications for the region's geopolitics. The territories captured during this conflict remain at the heart of the Israeli-Palestinian dispute.
This resounding victory, while solidifying Israel's military superiority, also resulted in the occupation of Palestinian territories, further complicating the path to peace. The occupation has led to numerous uprisings, known as intifadas, and has been a source of international debate and condemnation. The daily lives of Palestinians in these territories have been marked by restrictions, checkpoints, and a constant military presence. The 1973 Yom Kippur War, a surprise attack launched by Egypt and Syria, once again tested Israel's military prowess. This conflict, occurring on the holiest day in Judaism, caught Israel off guard and led to significant casualties on both sides. The war ultimately ended in a ceasefire, but it underscored the volatility of the region and the ever-present threat of renewed hostilities. Though Israel ultimately repelled the assault, the war served as a stark reminder of the precarious nature of peace in the region. It also led to a reassessment of military strategies and a renewed focus on achieving a lasting peace, though such efforts have often been thwarted by mutual distrust and competing national narratives.
These conflicts, etched into the historical narrative of the Middle East, have left an indelible mark on the political landscape, shaping the dynamics of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Each war, each skirmish, and each peace attempt has added layers of complexity to an already intricate situation, making the quest for a resolution all the more challenging and fueling the ongoing cycle of violence. The scars of these early years are still visible today in the divided cities, the barbed wire fences, and the stories passed down through generations. Understanding this history is not just about recounting past events, but about recognizing the human cost and the enduring hope for peace that persists despite the odds. The latter half of the 20th century witnessed a seismic shift in the geopolitical landscape of the Middle East, marked by the rise of Iran as a major regional power. This transformation was not sudden, but rather a culmination of various socio-political and economic factors that had been brewing for decades. The 1979 Islamic Revolution, which toppled the US-backed Shah and ushered in a theocratic regime led by Ayatollah Khomeini, had profound implications for the region, particularly for Israel. The revolution was a watershed moment, fundamentally altering Iran's domestic and foreign policies.
Iran's revolutionary government, espousing an anti-Western and anti-Israeli ideology, emerged as a staunch supporter of Palestinian militant groups. This support was not merely rhetorical. It translated into tangible actions that significantly impacted the regional balance of power. Providing them with financial aid, military training, and weapons, Iran sought to empower these groups to challenge Israeli dominance. This support extended beyond mere logistics, encompassing strategic and ideological backing that galvanized these movements. Iran's support for these groups, which it views as resistance movements fighting against Israeli occupation, has been a constant source of tension with Israel. This tension has manifested in various forms, from proxy wars to direct confrontations, each escalating the stakes in an already volatile region.
Tehran's backing has enabled these groups to acquire increasingly sophisticated weaponry, posing a significant security threat to the Jewish state. The evolution of this weaponry, from rudimentary arms to advanced missile systems, underscores the growing capabilities of these groups. Israel, viewing Iran's support for these groups as an existential threat, has repeatedly vowed to thwart its ambitions, further fueling the animosity between the two nations. This animosity is not just political but deeply rooted in historical and ideological differences.
The rise of Iran, coupled with its unwavering support for groups deemed hostile by Israel, has added another layer of complexity to the already volatile Middle East. This complexity is evident in the shifting alliances and the ever-changing dynamics of regional politics. It has also drawn other regional actors into the fray, creating a tangled web of alliances and rivalries that often transcend national boundaries. These alliances are not static. They evolve based on the geopolitical interests and strategic calculations of the involved parties.
This complex web of relationships, with its shifting alliances and deep-seated animosities, makes it challenging to fully comprehend the dynamics of the region. The interplay of these factors creates a multifaceted landscape that defies simple explanations. To navigate this intricate landscape, it's crucial to understand the motivations and actions of each player. Each actor in this geopolitical drama has its own set of interests, which are often in conflict with those of others, leading to a perpetual state of tension and negotiation. Recognizing that their interests are often intertwined and their actions can have far-reaching consequences, it becomes evident that the Middle East is a region where local events can have global repercussions. Understanding this interconnectedness is key to grasping the full scope of the region's complexities.